It's still daybreak here on Arise News, and it's time for the press preview. But a first look at what's on the front pages of the papers. We usually start with our sister publication, but until that comes, we'll go with a Punch newspaper this morning. And Punch has some interesting stories here. It says new Naira governors parties begin legal battle over CBN deadline with three riders there. El-Rufai, Matawale, Yahya Bello, CUFG demand extension. Court backs party stops CBN Buhari from shifting the deadline. EFCC naps Abuja bank manager holding 29 million Naira new notes. And then if you look at that picture you're watching, since 1939, this is the biggest earthquake to hit Turkey. And then, of course, got to Syria. World mourns as earthquake kills more than 2,700. I think the figure is even going 3,000 something and above. Then just in the red strip there, thugs disrupt reverse APC rally, destroy vehicles. Above the topmast, court stops Lagos International Airport concession. Autumn shuns Atiku campaign. Ayu slams the governors. And then just beside that logo, Lawan Supreme Court victory, daylight robbery. That is coming from the Machina camp.
All right, let's take a look at The Guardian Nigeria this morning. Court restrains Buhari CBN on February 10th deadline. Let's take some riders. 3 APC governors sue the federal government over Naira scarcity. Obaseki, that's from Edo State's backed cashless policy. Protesters accuse banks of hoarding and selling Naira notes to politicians for vote buying. Over 3,000 dead as powerful earthquake hits southern Turkey. That death toll is now over 4,000. And just below that, Lawan in, Machina out. Supreme Court decision splits lawyers on page 6. Mbaka spits fire over Kanu Naira redesign and fuel scarcity.
All right, the Tribune newspaper, still on the cash. The Tribune newspaper, still on the cash swap. Court stops Buhari CBN from shifting February 10 deadline. It has about 2 riders there. And then NAF plane, just beside that picture of Turkey-Syria earthquake, NAF plane skids of Lagos airport runway. At the topmast, Wike secures court order, moves to stop suspension from PDP. And okay, that's about the stories here. The other ones I've taken before.
The Daily Sun, similar headlines. Naira crisis widens, court bars Buhari CBN from extending February 10th deadline. APC governors sue President Malami, ask Supreme Court to stop cashless policy. Meanwhile, 14 political parties threaten to boycott poll. And just below there, INEC beefs up security for sensitive materials, reconfirms deployment of 1.2 million ad hoc staff.
Now to the international press, Daily Express. Let's have Daily Express there. Quick horror boldly written there. Thousands more fear dead in truly apocalyptic earthquakes. Gunshots heard moments before school head and family found dead. Vanessa Feld says, I won't let show concernedness write me off. Just that round picture there, below it, you see the death toll from 2 apocalyptic earthquakes that devastated parts of Turkey and Syria could increase by thousands. At least 3,600 people have been killed by the powerful 7.8 and 7.5 magnitude quakes.
The I newspaper this morning, thousands killed as they sleep. Earthquakes in Turkey and Syria create new refugee crisis. And just below that, Trust Come Back has damaged the Tories, pollsters warn. Former PM's rapid return to politics is highlighting conservative divisions.
The Guardian newspaper, catastrophic. Thousands dead as earthquake hits Turkey and Syria. Syria rapist sent photo of police gun to victim. Then Grammy's glory triumphs for Beyonce and Harry Styles.
All right, for the press preview, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello, who joins us now. Emmanuel, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
It's nice to have you back here.
Nice to be back.
How was
The fashion week.
Yeah, the fashion week.
Fashion week was good, but we have other things to discuss now.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the Punch newspaper and really all the dailies this morning focusing on the Naira crisis. The Punch newspaper says governors' parties begin legal battle over CBN deadline. If you can take us through some of that riders there. And before we talk about this, I just wanted us to take a tweet from the veteran actor Kate Henshaw. If we have that tweet, she says, "In my lifetime, I have not seen Naira. I have seen Naira being bought by Naira in Nigeria. This is the lowest of the low." Emmanuel Bello, please tell us what's going on the streets of Nigeria today. What's the value of the Naira to the Naira today? What's going on?
That's serious. Well, at the ATM, the teller machine, they will charge, I think, about 35 or so for every 1,000 you get. But that's just the beat. The POS operators are actually cashing out real big on that. I got some cash yesterday, and in fact, sometimes I don't even look at the charges anymore. Just get me something to get by and all of that. So yes, there's hardship there, and Kate is right, Kate Henshaw. She's right that this is the lowest of the low. It's never been this bad. But in the midst of all that is also the politics around the situation and what the papers are reporting today, which is the issue of the courts. For instance, the governors who've gone to the Supreme Court, and of course the parties who have, who got a restraining order from the court. So huge politics in Kechi is part of what is going on now, and you have to put everything in perspective. Yes, on one side of this situation is a real story of what Nigerians are going through because of this redesign. But on the other side is what the politicians, how the politicians or the campaigns are interpreting the impact of this to their lives. So in the midst of all that is the rest of us, you and I, the fact that we need to really to stay afloat and to stay alive. So it is we must not lose sight of the politics of it all, the claims by especially the APC that this was done to stop it, and what looks like now the new accusations that look, if this continues the way it is, APC might just lose the election. And you begin to wonder, how is this particular thing designed? Since Tinubu said this, that look, the design thing how is this designed to affect a particular campaign or a particular party? Because he started it off in that declaration where he said, look, this is all about me. This is to create disaffection. And since then, a lot of people have doubled down on that, saying that, look, the disaffection is artificial, the scarcity is artificial to get Nigerians angry. There are conspiracy theories also in the mix now. But in between all of that is the policy itself, and President Buhari is actually now on the spot over this. He's asked for 7 days to actually rethink or think through it, but the courts are not even giving him that. Already he's been told that, well, he doesn't even have those 7 days anymore to think. I wonder what he was going to do after those 7 days. Is it to say, okay, fine, let the old notes continue to be legal tenders even after the February 10 day? So he's on the spot himself as Mr. President and wondering what to do. A lot of people saying now, some people saying that the policy wasn't even coming from it was artificial. It was designed to actually stop a certain political party from becoming from winning the election. So that's what the politicians are saying. The way Erufai has been talking, the governor of Kaduna State and some other people, you see the anger and the annoyance this has generated. So, and you begin to wonder, are they actually speaking for the rest of us who are grappling with this in Kechi, you and I, who are just looking for basic money to do things? Or are they talking about that higher political thing that it's coming out, it's imagined now that, look, if this policy extends beyond, it does not change, and the president stick to his gun around this redesigning note and the fact that those money should not go around, that yes, APC will be actually affected. And why should it be affected? Is it about the scarcity, the fact that people can't travel around, or people need money to go vote, or is it actually the high issue that the president has been talking about, which is the fact that there won't be money for vote buying? These are some of the issues that are agitating the minds of everyone, because a lot of Nigerians initially really like the idea. They say, yes, we don't want anybody using undue advantage, bullion banks, monies to buy votes. But while they say that, a lot of people thought, well, the new note was just going to be readily available. But that is what is causing the hardship now. So if you put that side by side with the bigger thing that politicians are talking about, it makes for interesting kind of reporting the way we are reporting them.
Said that until the brunt began to bite even the people that said that. All right, still on the, you didn't add that 3 governors of the APC, Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai, Matawale of Zamfara, and Yahaya Bello of Kogi State have gone to court over this issue.
Yes, it widens the drama, the dragness of this drama, and they, almost giving it more plots, because going to Supreme Court and asking it to, restrain the president or to actually stop the CBN from continuing with the redesigning. And if you look at those, if you look at the deadline, if you look at these governors, they are seen to be, hardliners in the party themselves. Zamfara State, Kogi State, Kaduna State, and El-Rufai has been out there talking so strongly about this and saying that this isn't even coming from Mr. President. And that's also part of the crisis of the APC, to even think that it was not the president that actually thought out this idea, someone else in the villa, a cabal working there. I mean, if a staunch member of the party, a governor of the party, is suggesting that Mr. President doesn't even have the levers of power anymore, well, that's another reason why people say that, well, we need to actually vote you out. You don't seem to be in control of what, and it's something that everybody's been saying, like the APC has not, it doesn't have.
He's not on the ballot.
Well, yeah, you say it is his party, and they're campaigning for their party. The opposition easily jumps on that and say, this is a circus, this is comedy. You're suggesting that your own party doesn't have, it's the policy of your party wasn't coming from the party, wasn't coming from the president. Some other people were doing it for Mr. President. There are people who are bound to say, okay, fine, that is why we don't want such government in place.
All right, the Guardian, again, court commits EFCC boss Bawa to prison for contempt. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's a drama that we're all watching, because the first time it happened, everybody was like, so who's going to arrest him? And now again, the courts are committing him to jail. But I think by and large, the EFCC over the years now, has come out so strongly to give, at least it looks clearly like the institution that's been doing its best to fight.
They even arrested an Abuja manager for
exactly,
especially million.
Yes, and that was a good one. Nigerians really applauded EFCC for that. So the EFCC seems to be doing a good job. Nigerians can understand that in the midst of all of that, you're talking about courts trying to arrest the chairman and all of that. But it's a drama that seems to be unfolding. In most cases, it's doubtful if the courts can even implement those kind of arrests or committing him into jail. I think that's the bit that is not even, that most people don't understand. For now, Nigerians are watching the EFCC to see what they do about this bank's manager that are hoarding money and stopping people. And why the bank managers are even doing that is another issue altogether. Monies that are supposed to be readily available to the rest of us to collect. They keep treating us as if, some people even suggest that it's a form of punishment. They are punishing Nigerians clearly for, I don't know, our crimes in these matters, but it looks like punishment at this point. They are hoarding this money, and the CBN is saying, look, we've got this money, and they're there. So the arrest yesterday of that bank manager suggests that CBN was right all along, that, look, we've got these monies in abundance, and we have sent them to the banks, but the bank manager are keeping them. Why they are doing that is another, I don't know in India if you know why that's happening, but some people will say it is part against strategy, alongside this whole issue of this election, or the crisis of corruption have stepped into, because now they can easily sell those notes at the black market. So whatever it is, it's actually a very bad situation for everyone.
Emmanuel Bello, before we let you go, the biggest story around the world between yesterday and today, very devastating. Help for Turkey and Syria have been arriving from across the world after that deadly earthquake that have now killed over 4,300 people. Millions and millions of people are displaced in the winter. Even help from Ukraine. Ukraine is in the middle of a war and they're sending help as well. And it's now been reported that obviously this is going to cause a new refugee crisis on top of what we already have going on in the world.
Exactly, and even Syria, torn by war. We all know that crisis has been there before. Aleppo was already ravaged by war, and then you have this, almost last day kind of scenario, almost biblical or prophetic in the kind of, impact that earthquake had. Some people are already calling it that. You know, it's over 80 years now. You've not had that kind of quake. If people lovers of eschatology, eschatological studies, we tie this to all that the Book of Revelation talk about the last days, because it has that kind of impact. But within all, between the statistics, is also the human story. I think some of the papers carried the story of the girl that was rescued. You know, some kind of glimmer of hope in that huge doomsday kind of scenario, with a girl being rescued. Rescue workers still trying to see if they can just find someone who's alive.
It's a live feeds we're seeing
from the scene. And a little girl was rescued, which some papers really led with, you know, where a picture say that, well, at least we have what looks like just one bit of hope in a very, very hopeless situation. And like Nkechi, like you say, the wars are going on. This is even worse than the Russian-Ukrainian war put together. The number of people lost there. It's a disaster. In some cases, of course, there's really nothing man can do when mother nature turns against her own in this manner. But it's also a moment for sober reflection and to see how dangerous the world we live in is, and the sadness that could just engulf us in a matter of seconds without, because residents say that nobody was actually expecting. Of course, no one expects an earthquake, and in a jiffy that happened, and then we have this devastation and the sadness and the grief that has engulfed the world. I think it's a universal serious humanitarian crisis on our hands right now. And yes, I think everyone and anyone should send help now to Turkey and Syria.
And how blessed we are in Africa that we don't have this natural disasters.
Our own is man-made. Our own earthquake is man-made. We deal with each other.
Everybody has their own problem to solve. We leave it there. Thank you, Emmanuel Bella. That's a press preview. Let's hear your view on all the burning issues. Follow us on Twitter at Arise TV. You can join today's conversation using the hashtag Arise.